Initially, there were no warning signs. I knew my daughter wanted to eat healthily and lose some weight, and I was supportive of that. But I didn't realize the impact the blogs she was reading were having on her. She was only 14 years old, so she was totally and utterly seduced by these images of social media. Even though I thought she had lost enough weight, she seemed to be becoming obsessive. Her behavior starting changing, but I just put that down to her being a teenager. Then she started to become more withdrawn, and that got me concerned. But I was the last one to realize that there was a problem. I didn't realize she was covering up the extent of her weight loss by wearing layers. She was hiding it from me. It was only when she had physical symptoms that I got her examined. The doctor said, I think you are right to get her thoroughly checked, but you should also consider whether something else is going on, implying he thought it could be an eating disorder. All the way home, I was thinking, could it be? When I got back, my husband said, we need to do something. That's when I rang the consultant and she referred us to the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service, CAMS. My daughter couldn't come and speak to us about what she was going through because she didn't think we would understand. I even watched a program that year on the BBC about an Asian girl and her experience of an eating disorder during Ramadan, but I never made the connection. I wouldn't say I thought eating disorders were a white girl's condition. I think they happen in all communities, but I just didn't think it could happen to my family. You question your own parenting. The first thing the eating disorder services said to me was, we want you to know it's not your fault, but that is what's going on in your head. From a faith point of view, there is a connection, like drugs, alcohol. We just don't do these things in our faith because it is forbidden. So you think your faith can't be strong enough? Why would you fall vulnerable to an eating disorder? You think it's a weakness? You don't realize it's an illness. The eating disorder opened a new world to me as I tried to understand my own child. I remember when she was talking about the voices in her head. In our faith, we have the concept of being possessed, and you might think that that was what was happening from the way she was describing these voices. But the fact that the eating disorder services knew exactly what the eating disorder would be saying to her, how it would show its presence and everything, it really made sense. They provided a very supportive environment where we could be open about all our fears without being judged. I was very fearful when we first came to the eating disorder service, but it certainly exceeded my expectations, and my daughter coming to the service was a huge relief. She didn't have to lie anymore. She had finally been found out, and she had been waiting for that to happen. Knowing there is someone there who knows how to help and what you are going through is the best thing ever. The eating disorder services gave us confidence that as parents we were still in charge. They were just facilitating our daughter's recovery. Any fears I had that our religion is different, our culture is different, were unfounded. They just encourage you to stay with your values and help your child to be safe. I wish I had been more aware. I think more needs to be done to raise awareness and challenge the associations that the BME community has with eating disorders. It's not about bad parenting, but there are sources of support out there beyond religious leaders. The eating disorder has had a massive impact on all of us, but not necessarily all bad. I spend more time with my daughter now, and as a family, we have become closer. There is an openness about the eating disorder now, whereas before it was taboo subject. We were all walking on eggshells. Now we will say to my daughter, "You haven't eaten enough today. You need to have your snack." It is a mental health condition. That's how we treat it, not a behavioral thing. The great thing is she will come and talk to me now about how she's feeling, which is one of the things that she learned through the treatment about the importance of being open and communicating. The school nurse has been amazing. She's really accessible and I can contact her anytime. If there are issues at school, my daughter can talk to her and I can talk to her. In one way, my daughter's life is so much better than it used to be. But the battle continues. She now has coping strategies which I hope will be beneficial to her. I have total respect for her to have gone through what she has gone through. I haven't told many people in my family about the eating disorder because of the stigma. I do think it's really important to talk about eating disorders, but it's really difficult because of other people's lack of knowledge.